Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the whole issue is, I'd like to digress a little from the cyberspace because I've been working in the cyberspace and we've been doing cyber investigation, we've been catching criminals on the cyberspace. And but of late, what I have realized and what we are working on, the concept of policing when it goes to, because I was initially saying the crimes that are committed in the cyberspace, very little understanding is about the cops today we have, the police, and there are very few police officers are in the cyber cell who really understands how the management and how the information and the transactions and the commerce take place in the cyberspace. But another thing which the fallout which has come off now, I'm talking of two things: the cyber investigation, the other part is digital evidence. And so there are two different things, because when I discovered it when working on the cyber cell, I looked at every IO or the investigating officer, whether he's doing an investigation on murder or rape or whatever kind of heinous offenses, he needs digital evidence. Today, like earlier, when we used to go to the investigation sites, first we used to look for material evidence. Like you pick up a hair and bring that hair and do a DNA analysis. So that gives you a material evidence and you put it in the court of law. Similarly, you pick up some other materials like the arms used or the equipment used for committing the crime. So these are the evidences that. But today we insist, today in Madhya Pradesh, when you work in my state, I have worked out a protocol where we insist on first picking up the digital evidence. Because it is very easy to investigate a crime when you are looking for digital evidence. And when subsequently you picked up the digital evidence, and there are three gateways today, and there is a transmigration of the total population into these three gateways in the cyberspace. And we leave behind some kind of imprint in the digital space. It needs the expertise of the cop to pick up the digital evidence, analyze, and put it before the court of law as an evidence. So these three gateways I primarily call the three gateways, like the mobile phones, the cell phones. The second is the cards that you use, whether the debit or the credit cards. The third, you are working on the internet. So the total cyberspace you are entering, and every one of us is transmigrating into this space, whether you like it or not. It is not till the yesterday years that I needed a credit card or not. Today, if I come into this hotel, in the counter it demands, the first I have to show my credit card, otherwise it will not allow me to check into these hotels. And this is going to happen into small hotels, small restaurants, lodges. So slowly you will see life getting into the digital space automatically, whether you want it or not. You go to airlines, probably today you don't have those counters where you go and give cash and buy a ticket. You have to go on the internet and buy a ticket. Similarly, if you see the e-governance plan in railways, they are slowly migrating over to the railways onto the internet, and the ticketing are done on the internet. So yesterday I was hearing that only 92% people have access to the digital world. It is not so. The whole world is slowly getting into the digital world. So ultimately we have to all tread in the cyberspace. So today or tomorrow or in 10 years hence, the whole world is will get into the cyberspace. Before I really come into, I'd like to show something. We are talking of disaster management. Disaster management need not necessarily means the disaster management only in the cyberspace. That is, yes, one of the aspects. And yet, all our lives will be linked to the digital world. So I'd like to make a small presentation to appreciate what we had the first time experience in Bhopal about 25 years back, the Bhopal gas tragedy. And if you look into this, probably the solution we can work out today for avoiding any disaster. It's not only disaster in the cyberspace, disaster anywhere. So I'd like to make a small presentation. It is not a presentation basically, there are some clippings. I'd like you to appreciate, then we will move into the cyber space and we discuss the digital world and the cyberspace and how exactly this is emerging as a management solution. Today, what we call ICT, it is not ICT any longer. It is information communication management. So it's basically a tool of management that has to be given to different arena where solutions can be provided for. So I'll just give you some slides so that you appreciate, so that the initiation of the discussion becomes more interesting.
Sir, you have to finish in 10 minutes.
Yeah. This is conflict city and encounters with tragedy. This is, you will appreciate, these are the list of natural disasters that we see in the life in every one of us country. These are the man-made disasters that, and I have come to, if you see the chemical, industrial, biological, nuclear, and accidents of different kinds, and then if you see the infrastructure of it, there is a real disaster and there is a virtual disaster. Well, the moderator was talking about the virtual disaster, which these are the public safety that we have to look into, the crimes that we have got, conventional crimes and the cyber crimes, the conflicts that we have got, conventional warfare, the sub-conventional one, these are the list of warfare that we are going to face. And the corruptions and the scams. Today the stock market is completely in the digital world. So you see, the life today is moving into the digital world, and I believe a lot of automation can bring down corruption. This is the clipping that I want to show you, one of this, so this sensitize you, and please give me, there are certain clippings which will be little depressing. This is what the multiplex is, like the capital at Bhopal, we have got, today 2002 census says 66.81 million, 34 point, there's the beautiful city of Nawaz, which, this is the Indian carbide, the infamous, second in the 60s, defined as was. These are the incidents that had occurred in earlier to 1982. This is the worst man-made disaster ever done anywhere in the world. These are the people, we have collected some statistics which show that amount of people died in different kinds of disasters. This is the 43 tons of MIC luckily. This is the timeline in 30 p.m. starting the late night shift of the plant. Which is the midnight operator checked the MIC tank and 610 found to be ruptured in the hard burst. The MIC gas started because 06 MIC vapor started leaking up to the 33 meter flare system tower and from the cracked MIC storage tank. Complete 5 hours havoc in the night, and this is where the unit was, and this is how the gas started moving around. This is the factory.
If anything was going to happen, they said it would happen without them. 300,000 people now left, nearly half of Bhopal's population. by whatever means they the city of the lakes. They say the poisonous gas started to escape about 11 in the evening. It licked its way over the factory wall. Carried by a gentle northwesterly wind, it spread silently throughout the sleeping city. Its effect was horrifying and deadly.
Old, young children, they were trying to go away. The panic was intense. The scene of the Hamidia hospital, something as if thousand people are just pouring in from every corner of the city. Everywhere, pavement lane, hospital bed, people were just lying on the road. They couldn't even cry before death. But exhausted, dropped dead. There were nobody even to pick up the dead bodies. There were no neighbors. A pity for humanity. It was only then a question came to my mind. What type of technology it is? What type of industrial revolution it is? Who is responsible?
La catastrofe ecologica che ha colpito la città di Bhopal nell'India centrale assume dimensioni sempre più drammatiche. Più di 1000 morti,
2,000 may have died, maybe more. 50,000 may be blinded.
Even in Bhopal itself, it wasn't until the third day that the full magnitude of the tragedy became apparent. So many had died, so suddenly, and in such pain. Now the grim business of identification, of trying to locate the next of kin, began. With the hot Indian sun, no room in the local morgue, bodies had to be disposed of quickly.
They have come at something which can be really more powerful or dangerous than possible.
People either Khalid or MIT should use their testify to get another death.
Is the statistics of the report 1 million to 5 million report? Is it the report? These are the things to take for your consideration. The absence of water system advertisement in neighborhood, contamination of parents. Now I just briefly sum up what I began with, and I will take up in the panel. So the managing the public safety, I would not only be interested that we are only working on the cyberspace. We will be interested because ultimately when we are developing systems, we have to develop an integrated control room. We have to link all our establishment, infrastructure, everything into it. And tomorrow, when people are trading in the cyberspace, the militants, the insurgents, the terrorists, they are going to attack these stations because ultimately they will trade in the cyberspace, and finally, because if you're talking about seamless world, you're talking about seamless environment. So people sitting at distant end can really attack your towns and cities. So we have to be all prepared for the public safety will come finally boiling down to our lives, our day-to-day living. This is what I started with information communication management. And the solutions basically what I have experienced in the government. When a technology comes in, we start procuring technology without really getting the actual solutions. So when the information technology or ICT when it came in, it has come up with a management system. It's a management system unto itself. The classical management system has to go if you have to use this technology. So these are the ways probably is well versed with you. And when you are approaching a government department, I think they need to convince, because with the existing bureaucracy, it will not be possible to really get into the e-governance mode. So these are the solutions that we'll be discussing on. I'd like to end the presentation by quoting the famous listening of President of the United States, then President of the United States, addressing the National Science Congress. So that is the gigantic task, and probably the ERP or whatever we call PERT or CPM, whatever everything emerged, which today we are taking the information technology is, probably because of this total Apollo mission, which really gave it the world a new dimension into management solutions. So we will take up your questions and then other parts at the end of the presentation. But I would like to urge that we have to look everything at a holistic solution. It is not working on the cyberspace alone, because the crimes are occurring in the cyberspace. We are trading into the cyberspace. This is a completely new domain, and we have detected the infamous 419 records of the Nigerians, and there are so many other frauds like cyber-stacking, the phishing, hacking, or all the kind of financial frauds or e-frauds that are coming up. This is a big challenge, and not many people are really into this field. So I would urge the industry to come up and work in coordination with the government agencies, and even convince the government agencies to go into the new mode of information communication management. Thank you.